Pokemon. We need to talk about Pokemon ZA.
Yep, we
AZ?
sure do.
ZA.
ZA. I think this game visually looks like shit.
It's so... It does look so bad.
It looks just like Scarlet and Violet, and that's what people were complaining about. Like, just do something more than that. Like, I don't personally really care too much. Like, I feel weirdly conflicted about it because on one hand, it's like I don't really care as long as the gameplay is good, and the gameplay looks solid. We'll watch the trailer back here in a second.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, you can
but
pull
at the same time, I think it bothers me more on principle because it's like you have the resources, you have the time, you have everything at your disposal to make something look better, and you deliberately choose not to. And it pisses me off, and I think that's what pisses everybody else off.
The entire community was like, oh, they got so much backlash for Scarlet and Violet. Maybe they'll actually try harder next time, and this is a really good opportunity because they tend to try stuff with the they've been, with the Legends games and the remakes. Like, they tend to try stuff with those non-mainline titles.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really hoping that they'll they'll try a game or something, and yeah, it just looks so bad. Look at the
dislike ratio though. Look at the dislikes. Do you see the dislikes?
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah.
Because you have to like install something like a plugin to show dislikes because it won't show it on.
That's tough, dude. Yeah, that's tough.
So we'll give it a watch together.
Yeah, let's check it out.
I got to make sure. Hold on, let me do an audio test because I want to make sure. Okay, that's a little too loud. All right. Now we'll watch it together.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Looks like absolute dog ass. Like, I mean, it looks
4 seconds into it.
It looks no different than Scarvy, which is like does not reflect actual gameplay experience. That's fine, whatever. Rating pending.
Sure.
Imagine it's rated M. Yeah. Okay.
I also heard somebody say that this was probably processed with the old Switch. So all this stuff, this gameplay footage is probably all processed on the OG Switch, not the new Switch 2. Also, why is he wearing a fedora?
Paris? Belly.
So? Dude, look at that water. Look how bad it looks.
The starter choice is interesting.
Okay, well, hold on. Pause right here. Starter choice. What the heck are we doing here, people? Why are there two from the same generation on this?
Yeah, that is a little strange, honestly. I didn't think about it until you just said it, and I was like...
Legends Arceus had three different options from 3 different generations. I thought that's what we were doing.
I love Chikorita personally, but people were, like, not happy about it.
Well, like, I love Chikorita. I also love Totodile. Get rid of one of them and bring somebody from a near, like, even just like a Bulbasaur or a Squirtle instead of the other one would have been awesome.
Yeah, well, Bulbasaur. So Bulbasaur already has a Mega, and I think they'll bring back Megas here. So we'll probably see Mega forms of these 3, which is kind of crazy.
It'll be cool, but I just don't understand. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Also, Mega's coming back is going to shake up the competitive scene a lot again.
Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit. I think a little bit last year, when we saw the original trailer for this, or the original like reveal for this, that they're probably going to bring back Mega Evolutions, and that was going to just wreck the professional scene because it's going to change how everybody functions.
Yeah, I do think Emboar is underrated. Like Pignite's underrated. I do think he's underrated. I know he's like the third firefighting type, and like that kind of it's like okay, but like I do think he's underrated. I actually really love Chikorita Meganium. I love this line a lot. People are not happy about this.
Chikorita is actually one of my favorites.
Oh yeah,
Chikorita's whole line, and also just like I think Meganium is dope.
If they make the
like a Mega Meganium or whatever.
If it's like a Mega Meganium and it's like Grass Fairy or Grass Dragon.
Oh, dude, Grass Dragon would be so sick.
It would be great. The only thing about adding dual typings to grass is like they breed quad weaknesses. Like Poison would be quad weak to Grass Fairy, but Grass Fairy would be a cool type.
It'd just be interesting.
And Grass Dragon is like super weak to Ice would just obliterate it, and then Dragon, that Dragon weak and Fairy weakness too. Like Grass Dragon's not the best typing in the world, and I think
it would just be cool to see.
I think pure grass, like Meganium, is technically supposed to be like a tankier, more defensive Pokemon. So I'm really interested if they gave it like
ground,
ground,
or like rock.
Grass Rock would be great. Grass Rock would be great because it doesn't have. I think it has like fighting, poison is a weakness as well to that, and then steel.
It's pretty niche.
Yeah, so I think Grass Rock would be pretty cool.
From like a tanky Mega Evolution type deal.
And it'd make it a little more because it's based off like a dinosaur. Like Meganium looks like a dinosaur, but it'd make it a little more prehistoric. It just like add like scale, like rock scales or something like that.
I bet what they'll do is it'll go Grass Dragon or Grass Fairy, mainly because I don't know how much they care about the competitive scene.
True. I think they probably care about it thematically more than they do.
They do. They care about it and the look, the vibe. They're more of a look vibe kind of deal.
The competitive scene of Pokemon is very important, right? But like usually Nintendo, they don't really care about.
They don't care about competitive Smash. Why the heck do you think they would care about competitive Pokemon?
I wonder what Mega for Alligator is going to be like. I think this load up or
that is the one that I am the most excited about is Mega for Alligator though. Legit. That is the one I'm most. I'm just saying I don't understand what we're doing here with the starter options. I thought they had an established formula. I loved the established formula on the previous Legends game, which is you pick 3 different areas or three different regions, and then one typing from each of those regions, and then they're not from the same gen.
Yeah,
it's so like, all right, that makes sense.
This is strange, so I don't understand this, but let's
continue.
Oh, I like kind of watch their mouth. I like the tone. I went, that was great.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the chat actually on my phone to see, because it's hard. Because I have to I wish I had a third monitor. That'd make everything so much easier having a third monitor.
I mean, no one's talking in chat right now. You can ignore it.
That's fine. But I'll just turn this all the way down so I can see chat. Okay, awesome. One more time. I gotta say that one more time. Okay, that was satisfying. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's
cool. This is cool. But look at that grass. It looks so bad. That was interesting.
Parkour?
Yeah. I just don't understand. God, look how bad that is. Look at that background.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to look any better than this. I really truly don't.
It can't, right?
See, this is cool.
This is the coolest part.
Yeah.
Is the combat.
Yeah, Mega Evolution's back. I think 3D Mega Evolution's cool. Having it in a well, actually, no, it was in Let's Go where they had 3D Megas. There any new ones? No, they're not showing any new ones. That's interesting for the lore.
I want him.
Like,
I just want him to be my best friend.
Oh, I was like, Andrew. Whew. I'm learning more about you every day. Yeah, this guy is important to the lore.
Yeah.
Because
he's AZ or whatever, right?
Yeah, you know that picture where it's been 3,000 years and he's holding that.
Yeah.
That's a very special Flabebe.
Yeah.
And then you've got RC or the dog Zygarde.
Yeah.
ZA. I don't understand.
I don't either. But
Zygarde. Whatever. It's got to have
something to do with
Zygarde somehow.
Yeah.
I like the logo though. That's a cool logo.
I don't know, man. I don't know what this means either. That mean like combat? Like
oh hey there. Hey there. Whoa, Daredevil. No, thank you. Oh, I need both of us. Does
that mean does that mean that there's like some sort of championship battle thing built into it too? Is that what the end of that means? I'm not sure.
I have no clue.
I would say maybe it's something like that. Maybe there's like a tournament aspect to the game.
Possibly.
That would be kind of cool.
Look, I think Legends Arceus was really fun. I think that that style of gameplay is going in the right direction. I think the game looks like ass. And the reason I say it looks like ass is because it just looks lazy. It looks like Scarvy. And like
I don't even know if it the problem is with Scarvy, like the you were out in the open.
Yeah.
And so you could hide it more. But with like all the buildings being so close to you in this game, you can see every crappy detail.
I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to leave Lumiose City. Like
No. It said you're supposed to the whole game is in the city.
Really?
Yes, it said that in the first thing we watched. The entire game is in Lumiose. That's why they give you the ability. That's why all the wild zones are in the city. That is why they give you the ability to run on top of the buildings.
According to current information, Pokemon Legends ZA takes place entirely within Lumiose City, meaning the entire game happens in the one city of the Kalos region. Oh.
Yep. Oh. So no, you aren't going to be able to leave. Everything is functionally inside the city. So from a graphics perspective, that means the walls are going to be constantly rendering around you.
What the hell? How is that going to work?
Well, I mean, they have zones, like Pokemon zones, where like zones of this city that are like neglected and Pokemon have basically taken over.
Dude, the comments, this does not reflect gameplay experience. Yes, because ain't no way we're getting playable frame rates in this game. Okay, let's
that's really
the next one. Say the line, Game Freak. Does not reflect actual gameplay experience. And they go, yeah. Let's hope more than 3 buildings are actually accessible in Lumiose City.
Dude, golly.
I will never understand how Pokemon games can be the most lucrative license of all time and still have games with GameCube texture in 2025. Yeah.
Dude, it looks so bad. This is like late GameCube, early Wii level
it says
textures.
With the largest franchise in history is still making GameCube games. Sad they chose 2 starters from the same region, but at the same time excited to use Totodile. Yeah. For the life of me, I'll never understand why Chikorita and Totodile were chosen over Snivy and Piplup, 2 of the most French-inspired starters.
Snivy would have made way more sense.
15 FPS never looks so good.
Snivy's a good shout. Would have made way more sense.
People are really mad at the graphics, and it's just like,
well, yeah, it looks awful.
I
would argue it looks worse than Scarvy, and mainly because what I said.
People said,
is like in Scarvy, things get hidden by the landscape because it's so like vast and like you're not up next to stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But like it only breaks when you get close to it. But if you're in a city, you're constantly close to everything.
Yeah.
And so there's more to render. And it's already bad at rendering. We already know it's bad at rendering like Scarvy. So how do you think it's going to be as good as rendering that?
Somebody said they made a good point. It's like they sapped the soul out of everything that made Arceus so special.
They really did.
Somebody said, girl, I was excited for this, but why is Scarlet and Violet graphics and animations and even the sounds? Like they took the sounds. Still no voice actors. It's already 2025.
Yeah, why not have, I mean, they could still do the Zelda thing and have all the voice actors do everybody but the main character.
Yeah, I really don't feel good about this because the dislike ratio is almost like it's like a 2/3 like, 1/3 like ratio, or 2/3 like, 1/3 dislike ratio.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I think our initial reactions are pretty sound. It looks like dog shit.
God, it looks so bad, dude. I'm like very sad at how bad it looks. I really wanted them to like take extra time. When did Scarvy come out?
People are even like, Scarvy came out 2020. I don't. Hold on, let me check because I thought there was an entire year.
Scarvy, where they didn't release anything. Like there was no Pokemon game in 2024. Am I wrong about that?
Google corrected this to Scurvy release date. I'm like, when did Scurvy drop, bro? Japan in November. It was 2022.
Was it really that long ago? Oh my gosh, dude!
3 years.
Oh my gosh, it was.
Oh,
3 years.
It dropped everywhere on November 18th, 2022.
Yes. Oh my gosh, dude.
Usually Japan.
So they had all of 2023 and all of 2024 to work on this one game because they didn't work on any other games.
Let's watch. Okay, Legends Arceus. Let's compare the Legends Arceus trailer to it.
Dude, 2 years from like the uproar that was Scarlet Violet, the absolute backlash that was Scarlet and Violet. They had 2 years.
Yeah, let's do
somebody take the reins away from Game Freak, dude. Oh my gosh.
So this is a comparison for
long time ago, when the Sinnoh region was still only a vast wilderness.
Mute that BS, dude.
A certain
yeah, the voice acting wasn't too great. When Sinnoh was
just skip ahead. Just skip ahead to where the gameplay happens.
Yeah, it has
the same. It looks the same.
No,
I mean the Pokemon look a little better.
So here's the difference. This game, it kind of goes for a less is more kind of look. They're not trying to.
But this is the thing, dude. Right here in this
style over substance.
It's open. There's no buildings. There's less to like be close to you. And like it's not the greatest looking thing in the world, but also we were coming from not very much to begin with.
Yeah, this is an older trailer too. So, but like it has like see look, the grass is not trying to be like realistic. The grass is not trying to be. It's like it has its own style, right?
Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm very upset because I forgot how long ago Scarlet and Violet came out. And I am the fact that they had 2 entire full calendar years to work on this game and that is what we get for a trailer reveal is just upsetting.
It's not good.
And it's like I want to buy it so bad, but also like I kind of want to not buy it just because like they don't deserve my money if that's what they're going to be putting out. My gosh.
Unfortunately, I'll probably still buy it because I'm a sucker. Andrew.
I don't know, man.
But I'd return it.
Like we deserve better than that.
True. I like this video. It says Chingling help. They only gave me 3 frames. And this is like 4 years ago. So they're finally attempting to make a game that every child used to imagine while playing Pokemon.
See, that was the big thing that people didn't care about the graphics for Legends Arceus because it was the first time they did open world catching.
Yeah.
And open world combat.
Oh, man.
And so it was an entire new thing. That's why people didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, oh, well, we've been doing that. And you already made another crappy game doing that. Now you're doing open world combat, I guess. Like more fluid, less turn-based combat. Like it's more timing-based combat.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's fine. But you can't, that can't just be it. Like the graphics can't stay the same from 5 years ago. Or whatever.
True.
And just coast on that.
So
GameCube looking graphics. My gosh.
One thing I'll show you is that Wolfie Glick is talking about this. So we'll go ahead and go over this. It's the well, the ad's got to flicker a little bit, but so it's a Pokemon the Champions thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
the company just announced that they are working on a game that is still in development that I think is going to change the way that Pokemon operates forever. Now, when I say that it'll change Pokemon forever, you're probably thinking that I'm only talking about competitive Pokemon. But actually, I think that this game is going to forever change not only competitive Pokemon, but the single player experience as well.
That's cool. I like this aesthetically because like they have the red and the green and like it's just such a throwback.
It's a good look.
Every year on Pokemon Day, there is some kind of broadcast normally announcing upcoming titles and things that the
like it has nothing to do with the video. It felt nice to see that
Pokemon Company is working on. This year is the 29th anniversary, and many people were really eager and excited for Pokemon Day.
We've almost had 30 years of Pokemon.
Crazy.
Because there's basically been almost no news, not only about Generation 10, but also about the upcoming game Pokemon Legends ZA. Going into the broadcast, myself and I would guess most of the fandom were expecting that these two games would be the focal point. However, what we were not expecting was the release of a new title called Pokemon Champions. This title was frankly completely unexpected, which is funny especially because it could end up being one of the most impactful Pokemon titles of all time. So what is Pokemon Champions? Well, we don't know that much about it, but we have a good general idea. Effectively, as best that I can tell, this is a modern Pokemon battle simulator. One of the first questions that you might have is like,
so
it's Pokemon Stadium.
I hope so. Because the thing is, this might actually get people into competitive without having to do all that excessive bullshit.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's essentially Pokemon Stadium, but like what people wanted Pokemon Stadium to be.
Yeah.
Like,
which is dope.
Why does a battle simulator matter? Like maybe you're somebody who just plays the single player campaign and you're like, yeah, I don't really care about battling, so like it doesn't matter to me. And you're about to click off this video, but you shouldn't because it actually does matter to you. Pokemon Champions appears to be a game entirely focused around battling. This isn't technically like a brand new idea from Pokemon, given that we did have like Battle Revolution and Pokemon Stadium many years ago, but it is certainly a new idea, at least in modern times. That being said, I think that Pokemon Champions is going to be very, very different. It's also new and exciting because it's doing something that has never been possible before, which is allowing players to battle on their phones as well as on their Switches.
That's cool.
Cross-platform, yeah, that's
as far as I can tell, there
sick.
seems to be cross-compatibility, but again, it's still pretty early. I would bet that there's cross-compatibility though. Okay, but if you don't care about Pokemon battles, then again, why does this matter? I think in order to answer this, we should think about why would Game Freak want to do this in the first place? Obviously, I don't work at Game Freak, and so I don't have like access to their, official reasoning or whatever, but I have given this a fair bit of thought, and there's some things that I realized after thinking about it more that didn't think the game gets will be system didn't work with competitive battles, that would kind of put you in a tough situation, right? Like, of course, you could just cut competitive battles from the game, but that would be really bad for a number of reasons. I think people would not be happy with that.
So yeah, that's kind of what the new gameplay looks like for. Look at God.
ZA. Yeah. God, dude, that
even,
Onyx looks.
I mean, I'm biased, of course, but I think even other players, enjoy battling
The Onyx is supposed to be way bigger.
their friends.
Yeah.
It would also be bad from a marketing angle. So you would reach the conclusion that you want to include player versus player battles in your game, but I mean, you wouldn't use a different system for the player versus player battles than you would for like the player.
Okay, I won't harp too much on this.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's just like on a disclaimer on this channel, we do like surface level like overviews. We're not trying to like do a deep dive and all that because that's like we just like to present the information and people can go out and find it. Like that's sort of the gimmick that we have.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. I'm just upset. Basically, is what I want to get at. I'm just upset. I think now, and I don't want this to overshadow like the idea that I do think the new battle thing is really cool, and I think if they can perfect it,
right,
like it's going to be awesome.
Emily said, Brooks, I know you dislike Sword and Shield, but that was a stepping stone for this type of game. It was. It totally was. Like Sword and Shield, in my opinion, is
very much was
booty crack, but like not in a good way. I don't like it. I think the pacing's terrible. I just think that if they don't have skippable cutscenes in this game, I'm gonna probably smash it with a hammer. Like that's the worst thing. Sword and Shield would have been okay if you could skip cutscenes for repeated playthroughs. Like
yeah. I thought
post X and Y, yeah.
I thought Legends Arceus was amazing.
It was great.
That was the last one that I was like, oh yeah, this is it. They got it. Like it kind of looks a little bit crappy, but I love it so much.
When I tell people I like Let's Go games, people are like, and I'm just like, but they're fun. I mean, maybe not for repeated playthroughs, but like for one playthrough, it's pretty cool.
Sure.
Good
yeah,
Arceus. I like
Arceus repeated playthrough as well. Like I watched my wife play that game and I played that game totally separately, and I enjoyed watching her play it just as much as I enjoyed playing it myself because we played both very different ways. I love
for, Alpha Ruby, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire were very good. I enjoyed those so much.
Yeah, I'm just upset about like how bad this new thing looks.
Pokemon has gotten, I think, ever since
it's just gotta get better.
Ever since like I think the most effort that's ever been put into a Pokemon game was like Gen 5. Black and White 2. There's so much content in those games. And then and then once like,
and the story is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's one of the better stories in Pokemon in a mainline series because it's just talking about like free will and like it questions the actual act of like
it's so
being
good.
A Pokemon trainer and what does it mean and like it's pretty bold for what it's supposed to be. I just like the thing where people say this is geared towards kids, not adults. You don't need to be that upset. I'm like, who do you think's
Well, yeah, I was going to say
buying these games?
The people that are buying the games are all adults.
Yeah, so like even if they're buying them for their kids.
Sure, it's a kids franchise, but it's not a kids franchise. It's like saying Zelda is a kids franchise. It's like
it's like saying Mario. It's like, and it's like, well, the thing is, there's a thing where people are like, just because it's a kids movie doesn't mean it's free of criticism.
Some people said that about like the Mario movie and like the Sonic movies and stuff. It's like, just because this is geared towards kids doesn't mean the story doesn't need to be great, and it doesn't mean it doesn't need to look good.
I mean, the best media in the world, some of the best media in the world is able to be consumed by everybody. So
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Technically a kid's show, one of the greatest animated shows of all time.
So you can't criticize, you can't like it.
It is one of the it is one of the greatest pieces of media of all time.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Nickelodeon.
Yeah. So you could say stuff is geared for kids all you want to, but I mean, Kirby, you could look at Kirby. I mean, Kirby's geared towards kids, but Kirby's great. Like Kirby's, it's a great IP and it's, they're fun.
Just because it's geared towards kids doesn't mean it has to suck. I think Avatar: The Last Airbender is probably the greatest example of that.
Oh, of course. Yeah. It has like, it's funny because Kirby is like geared towards kids, but you realize you kill gods in that game, right? Kirby is a god-slaying demon.
That is true.
It's kind of crazy.
That's really, really true. Well, cool. I just wanted to go through that with you, Brooks, and talk about it. We haven't talked about the new Pokemon stuff.
And
hey,
this is
if you're watching this
episode,
if you're watching this after the fact, come hang out with us live for the podcast episode, for the full podcast episode.
Yeah, we have fun.
Where we do this, and we also do other things, where we also talk about things that aren't Pokemon, like Baldur's Gate and tabletop games and music stuff and whatever else we want to talk about.
If you like media, you'll probably like us.
We try to.
Yeah, we try.
All right. Sounds good. Signing off.
See you guys. Bye.